Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Sanger and all Dharma friends, it is Saturday afternoon, July 18, 2026. It's time for us to share our experience and answer any questions. The topic is uh, urgency uninterrupted, based on the reminding teaching of the patriarch. If we have the belief in the mind and have the deep practice, it will lead to the urgent mind, urgent and determined mind, and sincere on the practice. It leads us into an interruption, leads us into a series of practice. Then the practice becomes clear, and eventually lead us to liberation. When we talk about all of the reminders or encouragement or share of the wise teachers and Dharma friends or the patriots, but for a practitioner, if we don't have the practice, we will not be able to accept or absorb or believe at all. For example, when we listen to the word, the công án of Master Chiu Châu, Master Chiu Châu about the tea, one person come to ask to visit him, haven't even say anything. He asked, "Did you drink tea?" Then the master said, "Then drink tea." Another person come, the same thing. Before they even ask anything, the master tell them to um, drink tea. Then the helper suddenly raised the doubt because why the patriot both told the person who already or haven't already drink tea to go drink tea. Or another uh, person who come to visit the patriot talk about the biscuit. Then all of those uh, examples are similar about the tea of Master Chiu Châu or the Vân Môn biscuit. All of those are euphemisms of the patriot with the purpose to help the practitioner put to put down their attaching and discriminating mind. That is what we want to share today. But only with the practice will we be able to understand. And only with the practice it can lead us from the right down to the true doubt. And the true doubt lead us to awakening. If we don't have the practice, we will feel everything become meaningless, and we can generate the assuming mind. Eventually, that can just lead to different arguments. We need belief in the mind and the practice to become enough for us to be able to understand the principle and improve the practice. So right now, if anyone has any question, you can bring it up. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Quý thầy quý phương đồ and practitioners. Can you talk about the verse if anyone want to understand the Buddha of the three times, then they have to contemplate that everything was created by the mind. I said this verse is coming from the Hoa Nghiêm Sutra. It means if anyone want to clearly understand or clearly know the Buddhas of the three times, meaning understanding the nature of the Dharma, understand the Buddha of the three times, then they have to be able to contemplate the nature of the dharmas of all the world and know and figure out that everything it was created by the mind. The Buddha also said if anything is created by the mind then that thing is not real. If anything created, then it's anything is born, then those things will be gone. And if so, they don't have their intrinsic self, but because the sentient being attached to them as real, therefore they see everything different, uh, small, big, um, above, below, all kind of differences. So this verse said we need to contemplate the world dharma, nature. So that is the indirect skillful means for us to um, believe in the true mind. So when he said to contemplate the nature of the dharmas, is for us to understand the true mind, the original mind. So when we talk about this, contemplating the nature of the dharma, um, it's a skillful means because it is talking about the subject and object of the contemplation. So our practice is equivalent to prajna contemplation, and prajna is non-dualistic. And when we get to that non-duality, we will enter the door of liberation. But if we still stay at duality, we will always have in ignorance and attachment. So that verse talked about a person that already reached um, a liberation. The Buddha spent 3 weeks to talk about that Hoa Nghiêm Sutra. Uh, So when we awaken, then we will be able to truly contemplate the nature of all the Dharma and know that they are not real. Just like when we awaken from the dream, we will know that everything is not real. But right now, when we talk about the dream, we are talking to the person who's still not awakened yet. But once the person awakened, then we don't even need to talk about the dream anymore. So the Buddha teaching is the skillful means to help the sentient being because the capacity of sentient being have different level. Therefore, the Buddha had to have no choice but have to create multiple teachings. But the Buddha's intention is to pass down the direct method during the Linh Sơn assembly. So when the Buddha first awakened, he he entered that protective state. Um, it is the time when they also contemplate the nature of the dharmas. When the dharma, when the heaven being um, requested the Buddha to teach the dharma to leave behind his teaching, um, then the Buddha start talking about different sutras, uh, the Aham Sutra, Nirvana, and Lotus Sutra. 22 years to talk about the rational, eventually talking about Nirvana and Lotus Sutra within 3 months. So the last 8 years he was talking about Nirvana and the Lotus Sutra. So together all of the sutras uh, comprise up to 49 years of teachings that covers all different capacities. So when any teachings when it go through the language, it become indirect. Only the meditation method is the direct method. What we are practicing, which is what we were practicing now. But even for us, thanks to the skillful means of the Buddha and the patriot, it's like a compass for us um, to determine the direction that lead us to the liberation. Therefore, our Zen school emphasize the practice. Therefore, we say we don't establish uh, the language, but at the same time, we don't eradicate the language. There are a lot of volumes within the scriptures. Um, a lot of them record the teachings of a lot of Zen masters. But when it comes to the teachings that can leave left behind to the later generation, it needs to go through the approval of an assembly. So, in all that to say, how important the practice is, um, not just in analyzing or explaining based off of the language.
Dạ, con hiểu rồi, con cảm ơn thầy. Dạ, bây giờ
Thank you, Thanh.
con thưa thầy, con cứ kính thưa đại chúng. Có một người hành giả nhờ con thỉnh pháp.
There is a practitioner wanted me to ask
Nhờ con
question
thầy cho
on
con hỏi
their
là
behalf.
tại sao người nhỏ tuổi khi đến các cái tháp miếu xưng hô
Why
với Phật
a person
thì người ấy
of
cũng thành Phật.
a
Thì con cũng xin thầy khai示.
younger
Con
age
cảm ơn thầy.
visiting the temple and ask for a saying of Namo Buddha, then they become a Buddha. I said this is related to the Lotus Sutra. If we're talking about the seed of the right Dharma, like even if we just listen to it once, it can create a seed. Or even if that person just raised a thought of belief in the Buddha, he is planting the seed of liberation, and eventually the fruit of liberation will come. Namo means to take refuge to return to. So Namo Buddha means to return to the nature. So even if we raise just one thought of returning to the Buddha nature, we are planting the seed of enlightenment, and eventually the fruit will come. That come from a story. Uh, there is a man who was very interested in the uh, in Buddhism, but he didn't have the opportunity to be close to the Buddha because many lives he never had any connection with the Buddha. But there was one life many years ago, lifetime ago, he ran away from an animal and um, generate a thought of um, seeking help from the Buddha. So when that seed planted in the past, therefore now he have the um, interest to learn from the Buddha. But because the seed that he planted is not that strong, therefore in this life, whenever he about to meet the Buddha uh, already left that place. So he kept chasing after the Buddha from cities to city, but he didn't feel discouraged. So one time he hears someone said the Buddha is taking food near where he was having a drink. He was very happy. When he come there, he saw the Buddha was um, begging for food. Then he prostrate to the Buddha and asked to hear some Buddha Dharma. And the Buddha said it is time to um, go around for food, not time for Dharma talk. Then he asked the second time, and they asked the third time. He said, um, birth and death is a great concern. Life is impermanent. I don't know when I will die, so I really want to hear some uh, teachings, the Buddha at that time were able to see that his life is about to come to an end. Then he took the opportunity to give him a verse um, all phenomenon is impermanent. It's the Dharma of birth and death. When all birth and death end, that is the ultimate bliss. Then he say thank you to the Buddha and asked to become a monk. At that time, the Buddha touched his head and say he is Thiện Tai Bhikshu. Right at that time, all of his hairs fall off and he become a bhikshu. Uh, and then not later after that, after the Buddha left, um, there's a mad cow that run and kill him. When all of the Buddha's disciples saw that, he asked the Buddha, um, why why is this person have such a special blessing to the point he is able to get enlightened and become the disciple of the Buddha in a very short period of time right before he died, even though many lives before they don't see him practice at all. Then the Buddha asked, how many lives did you see? Um, and the Arhat said, for 84,000 previous lives, I don't see the person practice or have any connection with Buddhism. Then the Buddha said, in the life before that, 84,000, when he jumped up to the temple and raised the thought to take refuge to the Buddha, from that seat now, he it's the time for him to experience the fruit of enlightenment. So, uh, but if we want to plant the right seed, we have to raise the thought of practice in order to get the right seed. If we think we just come to the temple and donate money, that is not the right seed. Like when we face the most dangerous thing in our life, if we remember the Buddha enlightenment, that is us planting the right seed. So that is to talk about raising a thought of Namo Buddha, then later on become a Buddha.
Xin cảm ơn thầy, bà Thuận Hoa sẽ hiểu. Dạ Nam mô Bổn sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật.
Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.
Con kính
Dear
quý thầy, quý sư
Hi,
và quý thính
dear
giả.
singer and all
Kính
practitioners,
thỉnh sư phụ khai thị cho con cái bài kệ
could you
ngọa cụ
talk about
chuyện
the
lên
verse?
thánh địa. Con rung quá con quên rồi.
She said
Bị lai mạng. Con
she forgot the entire
thầy
verse,
Vi khai thị cho con.
only a part of it.
Dạ. Một.
They said the verse come from Tỳ Ni Nhật Dụng, and Tỳ Ni Nhật Dụng come from a section of Hoa Nghiêm Sutra. It means every thought or action we have to direct our mind to the body mind. During the time when the esoteric school developed very strong, each of the verse attached to the mantra in order to keep the mind in place. But the right way to do is we just need to raise the body mind or the mind of non-attachment. So this verse is to talk mostly about the monastic, the person who truly raised the body mind. That is the a tool uh, for us to carry on our path of practicing. It's like a Dharma tool. It's like what it means is the the tools that we are using when we're using them. It's a way to remind us to um to think about our path of liberation. Um, and that we should always carry and help the and support the Dharma of liberation and help all sentient beings. All the verse are to talk about the liberation and awakening to help us keep a stable mind. For example, when we wash our hands, we also wish that all sentient beings will have a pure hand to receive the Buddha Dharma. Like everything we do during the day, like wake up, brush teeth, wash face, we have different verses about our daily action to help direct our mind into the one place. But when it comes to the practice or the doubt, it's the door of rational, non-dualistic, where we don't have any way to direct the mind to. So prajna is the true doubt and not stuck in duality. If we have the practice, then we are actually also practicing all of these verses. Sometimes we say we practice, but we don't have the doubt all the time. A lot of time we have a lot of discrimination and attachment and experience happiness, sadness all the time. So having those verse for us is to as a way to help us remember the practice and to remind us to um, put into practice our original wish. So the verse and the practice complement each other. So all those verses is the skillful means to help us raise a pure mind to practice. Do you understand? Yes, I do. Thank you. Thầy.
Dạ, Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Con kính thầy với thầy với sư cô cùng thiện đại chúng. Thầy cho con
Musake Buddha Vitai Vitinga Practitioner.
có một vị hành giả họ chỉ biết là ngày đêm tham thiền thôi, nhưng mà
There's a
họ không
practitioner who only
tiến
know
trong
to
cái
meditate day and night,
từng bước
but he is
học
not
cách
clear
học pháp, nghe pháp rồi
about
hiểu, nhưng mà
uh,
chỉ biết tham thiền thôi.
learning
Thì thưa
the
thầy,
Dharma, listening to Dharma, or understand the Dharma.
hành giả này
He only know to meditate. Is it enough? Can you give some advice to this person? Thank you, Thai. If he knows to meditate but he doesn't believe in the original mind, then he will not go into the ultimate route. The most important thing is to believe in the original mind. If we don't, then we might carry assuming mind without knowing, because he or she just believe in his consciousness, thinking he is correct. Là master trung phong minh bổn thế. There are certain basic condition for a practitioner. First, they need to have a wisdom, a bright wisdom eye. Second, they need to be clear on all the principles, meaning they have to believe in the original mind. But if they still have the thing that they fear, they need to gain, they seek, but they don't want to learn further from the wise teacher. They're assuming that they know everything, and they just need to continue to practice all the way. Then they are actually going into the wrong path, staying at the tail of the world, thinking they are getting to the Hoa Thou. That's why the wise teachers always remind us to believe in the original mind. Uh, why the Buddha said to have to raise the Bodhi mind or the mind of non-attachment. If we believe in the original mind that everything is already ready, there's nothing else to gain after beyond the mind. because beyond the mind there is no time or space. Non-dualistic means there's no two, there's no same, there's no different. Because we don't believe in the original mind, therefore we see things as same or different. Start creating discrimination. We think we have the practice, but in reality, we just attach to our ignorance. We think we cultivate, but in reality, there's no connection with liberation. The Buddha in the past said, this is um, taking the enemy as the child, taking the wrong medicine, mistaken um, the random thing with the valuable things. Or the snake creature. If we want to catch a snake, we have to catch at the head, or else we will get bitten and die. If we practice, but we keep having more and more attachment and ignorance, then it just leads to more suffering. Some people say, why I practice all the time, but I still have a lot of suffering all the time. And they generate a suspicious mind on the Buddha Dharma. The patriarch said that is to um, take the rock over a gem. Therefore, we have to learn and practice all the way. Only when we believe in the mind and practice following the right principle, we will get to liberation.
Dạ, con hiểu rồi, con cảm ơn thầy.
I understand. Thank you, Thành. The time is up. Goodbye, everyone. Namo Tassa Namo Buddhaya.